We already talked about some new epic and rare gear that you can find in the third episode of the Atlantis DLC, but Ubisoft also added new legendary armor pieces to the game. They are not that special in terms of look, but they are pretty strong or add a unique benefit like showing up in a cutscene. Yes, the first headpiece ever to do that. So let's get into it. Would be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it shows your support, and let's go. Quick reminder that I'm still running a giveaway for the Helios pack that includes the armor set, bow and mount. Follow the link in the pinned comment for a chance to win, and be sure you are a subscriber of the channel before you enter. I will announce and reach out to the winner next week, so stay tuned. To get the full new Dicastis legendary armor set, we need to hunt down 5 Polo Mark enemies in Atlantis. I will show you the locations of all these enemies a little later on in the video, so you can go and hunt them. Although for one of the pieces you need knowledge sequence 3, so you can only get the final piece of the set at the end of the DLC, sadly. It's a warrior set that has a very unique set bonus. It namely makes you Izu enhanced for 15 seconds after being hit, and it has a 60-second cooldown. There's no real information on what the Izu enhanced means, but what I found is that it's basically a combination of some of the new enhanced abilities from the Fate of Atlantis DLC. So after being hit, you get this glowing body that is very similar to the enhanced second wind, so the Ares' last breath. And the effect is the same, so incoming attacks are parried and it causes the enemy to recover as well, so you can easily hit them. And this again for 15 seconds, while the Ares' last breath is only for 10 seconds. And it also seems like the Izu enhanced set bonus gives you the extra damage dealt restored as health that we also see with the Ares' last breath. At least that's what I noticed while playing on the Ubisoft build. It also creates the glowing effect around your weapon, so that is from the new Blessing of Kronos ability. And this sometimes increases the range of your weapon as well, so you can easily hit multiple enemies. And yes, the increased adrenaline gains seems to be part of the Izu enhanced set bonus too. So it's like a combination of those two abilities, and it stacks as well, because if you have this set bonus, then you can still use the other abilities that are basically doing the same thing. So a smart thing to do is that when entering a battle for the first time, you will get hit, and then you let the set bonus do its job, and then you can go on a rampage. After the set bonus is over, you just trigger the enhanced second wind ability, so you become invulnerable again for 10 seconds and then do the enhanced venomous attack as well, and you basically have the same set bonus again. Then follow up with something like the Ares Madness or the Battle Cry of Ares, and you're basically untouchable most of the times, because by the time you used both abilities, the Izu enhanced set bonus will already be back up. It's pretty insane and strong as well. If we look at the individual pieces, we see that we also got a new perk that we haven't seen before on legendary gear as far as I know. On the helm, first the familiar chance to ignore half damage, so great for the vents. And then the perk I talked about next on the bracers, damage with enhanced abilities. Pretty interesting one, not really good. I would say there are only a few enhanced abilities that are really focused on doing a ton of damage, so those will be enhanced. I mean, not really bad, but I think overall damage increase would be better. We got crit chance on the waist, crit damage on the chest, and then again the new damage with enhanced abilities on the boots. So yes, the set bonus is really good, but the perks on this legendary gear set could be better. So yeah, maybe smarter to engrave the set bonus on another gear item. It unlocks when you got the full set for headgear and has a double as long cooldown. So not the 60 seconds, but 120 seconds. It's still a great perk, but hard to rely on it when you have to wait 2 minutes each time. It still has the same duration though, 15 seconds, so that is pretty good. Overall, a really interesting new legendary armor set, not because of the looks though, although I do like the Izu style rings that appear on your arms thanks to the chest piece. But overall you could say that it's just an existing armor set that they slightly changed and made black a little bit. We got Eugene reaching out on Twitter with a very interesting tweet saying that the new legendary helmet is the same as they used for the Ultimate Edition of Odyssey. Really nice find. And by the way, a cool thing about this set is that you get a hood as well. So you get the helmet as the armor piece, but you also unlock the hood in the visual customization window, so you can switch between them if you want. It's again a variant on the regular hoods that were already in the game, but we got some Izu type lines or stripes on it that do look pretty nice. No, I'm kind of disappointed by the look overall, but we already got a ton of other new gear pieces too, so I don't really mind that much. So again, to get this full armor set, you need to kill the most powerful enemies in the DLC to get all the pieces, and they're all located in different locations. The chest can be found over here on the map, and the boots are over here on the map. Killing the enemy here will get you the helmet, and this is the location where you will find the belt. And for the final piece, the bracers, you have to go over here, but again you need the knowledge sequence 3 to be able to access the area where the enemy is. So that is something you can do near the end of episode 3, and there's another piece of legendary gear that you get near the end, or actually at the end, the crown of Poseidon. Yes, from the king himself. It's a warrior crown that, just like the helmet of Hades, has some sort of funny perk that you get when wearing the piece. 50% damage while in contact with water. Makes sense for the crown from the God of Water and Sea obviously, but it's not really that good. Again, comparable to the perk we found on the Hades helm, like the extra damage with the torches. In Atlantis, there are not a lot of situations where this helm can come in handy, like the Atlantis Latomia is an option though. So if you have unfinished business in this location, then this perk can come in handy, because if you pay attention, you do see the damage increase for sure. Here I did an overpower ability on the Izu Commander outside of the water, doing some pretty okay damage with this Ubisoft build that I played the DLC on to play it early. I got a 46k crit, a 60k crit, but if I do the same overpower ability from the dagger on that same type of enemy, but then in the water, you do see that there are higher numbers. 74k, 51k crit, 70k crit. I also tested this in Greece. I went to Kydonia. You have a nice beach there, because yes, you really have to search for good locations where this perk can come in handy. So while doing the overpower ability in the water, I did not go below the 14k, while on land with the same ability on the same enemy, I did do sometimes 12k or 13k. Again, it's not an insane increase, so if you're just playing and are not really looking at the numbers, then you will not really notice it, but if you pay close attention, then you do see it. If you want to toy around with this, then you can also engrave the perk from this helm on any other gear piece, and then maybe use the crown only as a visual customization option. That is totally worth it, because the crown, like I already said, appears in cutscenes. So when talking to another character or during more cinematic moments, you see your crown. Here we see some footage from Joseph, for example, who has the crown on while talking to Marcos. Fee also reached out saying that there is a bug right now when you want to toggle the headgear on and off and have the crown on, because the crown will simply stay on, and maybe that's the downside of having it in the cutscenes, or maybe that's a bug that also shows it in the cutscenes. Being able to show headgear in a cutscene has been one of the most requested features. There is a bug, by the way, in the game right now, that if you press the photo mode at the right time before the cutscene plays, then you will indeed see your headgear in the cutscene, as demonstrated by James, who reached out because he got it to work in the Atlantis DLC. And this feels kinda strange, because it was possible to show a full outfit in a cutscene in Origins, but in Odyssey they did not want that, because they want you to see the facial expressions of the character, and with the crown you of course still see that. So I think them having the crown show up in the cutscenes was intended, but I'm also not 100% sure. But yeah, cool that we at least have now one gear piece that can show up in a cutscene without having to do a weird trick. Kinda sad that we get it at the end of the final season pass episodes, so when there are likely not a lot of cinematic cutscenes being added anymore. We do still have 2 Lost Tales of Greece episodes though coming up, so I will totally be rocking the crown in those episodes. And speaking of those Lost Tales of Greece episodes, I kind of learned more about the future of Odyssey that is brighter than I and you first thought. I will go more in depth on it in a future video that will be up soon. So totally subscribe for everything on Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Like this video to support the channel and check out my previous video on the new forge they added that lets you craft new weapons. For now though, I will speak to you next time and goodbye.